Hello, welcome to the video Java Connect to PostgreSQL database with me Nam Haming from CodeJava.net. Through this video, I will guide you how to create a database in a PostgreSQL server and then code a Java program that connects to PostgreSQL database to execute insert and select SQL statements. And I will show you how to use PostgreSQL JDBC driver in two ways. Use jar file directory and use Maven dependency for PostgreSQL. To follow this video, make sure that you have this software program installed on your computer: Java Development Kit JDK, Eclipse IDE, and PostgreSQL Server with pgadmin tool. First, let's create a new database in PostgreSQL Server. In my computer, I have the program pgadmin for here for managing PostgreSQL database. Here we open the PostgreSQL admin in Chrome browser. Here you see, and connect to the server. Enter password. Okay. Now let's create a new database here. Right click here, create database. Enter the database name as for example, submit. Click save. And we got a new database named Shopee, got created in a PostgreSQL server here. And let's create a new table under the schema section here, public, and you can see tables section here. Right click here, create a table. Table name is contacts, and we also create some columns for this table. Click the plus button here. The first column is ID, which is a primary column of this table. Data type is integer. You can type the data type into the search box here. Not no, yes. Primary key, yes. And you can click the edit icon next to the column here to edit the details. Here I want to have this primary column with values automatically generated by the database server. So I select the constraints here and choose the type is identity. Identity type always increment 1. Minimum start 1, minimum 1, and maximum 1 million. It is something like sequence, and that's it for the ID column. And then click the plus button here to create another column. The second column is first underscore name. Data type is text here. Not no, yes. And the third column is last underscore name. So we will code a Java program to insert a new row to this contacts table and select rows from this contact table. Data type is also text here. And the last column is email. Data type is text here. Not no. All columns not no. That's it, and click save. And you see we got the table contacts created here. with these columns: ID, first name, last name, and email. You can right click on the table here, properties, to see the columns again. You can see columns here. Check the details of the primary. You can change. You can see it is identity column here. Okay. Now let's create a new Java project in Eclipse IDE to develop a program that connects to PostgreSQL server. So we create a new Java project here. Project name is contact program. Finish. As you can see, I'm using Java 11, so it asks to create a module, but I don't want to create, so click don't create. So we got our project contact program created here, and create a new Java class under the source directory. Class name is contact program. Package is net.code Java, and we want to create the main method to launch the program. And click finish. And in the next few minutes, we will write code to connect to PostgreSQL server here. Now let's write a simple Java code to connect to PostgreSQL server using a JDBC API. First, we need to declare the JDBC URL. JDBC URL to identify the database server, database name, and the connection information to connect to PostgreSQL server. For PostgreSQL server, the JDBC URL is JDBC PostgreSQL /c, and then the host name is localhost if PostgreSQL server is running on the same computer, and the default port number of PostgreSQL is 5432, and the database name is here, shopme here, shopme. That's it. And then we create a new connection object from the java.sql package here. Connection equal driver manager connection. Add connection here. We need to specify the username and password to connect to the database server as well. Username is the default username of PostgreSQL is Postgres, and password in my case is password, and we specify the JDBC URL username and password when getting a new connection to the database server. Password, that's it. And we need to wrap this statement in a try catch block. Sorry, try catch. Okay. And in case of error, SQL exception is thrown. So here I print something here. Error in connecting to database to PostgreSQL server. After this statement, if the connection has been established successfully, then we can print connected to PostgreSQL server, and then we close the connection. Connection.close. That's it to create a new connection to PostgreSQL server. Notice you must specify the correct JDBC URL here. Now let's try to run this program. Run as Java application from the context menu or click the run menu in the toolbar here. And we got an error in the control view because no suitable driver found for this URL. That means we need to add JDBC driver jar file for PostgreSQL server to the project. So head to the home page of PostgreSQL server JDBC dot postgresql.org here, the home page of JDBC driver for PostgreSQL, and click the download menu here. And for Java version 8 or newer, we should use the JDBC 4.2 version. So click the link PostgreSQL JDBC 4.2 driver here, PostgreSQL JDBC driver, and it will download the jar file directory. So the browser we wants us this type file can ham the computer. Click keep and open show in folder here to see the jar file. This is the jar file for JDBC driver for PostgreSQL server database here, you see, and we can copy this jar file into our project here, paste here, and then we configure the Java build path in the project to refer to that jar file, Java build path here, class path, add jas, and select the jar file here, PostgreSQL version 42.2.16. Okay, apply and close. And now let's run this program again. Run as contact program here. You can see now it prints connected to PostgreSQL server here. That means our Java program has successfully connected to the PostgreSQL database server. Let's try to modify the username here and run again, and we should see an error. And you can see we got an error here. Password authentication failed for user progressed one. Yeah. Change back to the correct username. Next, I will show you how to write some Java code to execute a SQL statement to insert a new row into the context table here. Context here. So we need to declare a SQL statement. SQL equal to an insert statement. Insert into context is a table name, and then the column names is column names first name, last name, and email. We don't specify the ID column because its value will be generated automatically by the database. Contact first underscore name, last underscore name, and email. And values, we specify the values directly here. For example, Ravi Kumar. Ravi is the first name and Kumar is the last name, and email is ravi.kumar2020@gmail.com. That's it. A very simple insert into SQL statement, and then we execute this SQL statement we need to create a new statement object from the connection. Statement equal connection. Create statement, and then we execute the statement. Execute update. Yeah, passing the SQL statement, and this method execute update returns an integer number indicating the number of rows affected. So we need to assign the returned value to a integer variable like this, and we should check if this number is greater than 0. That means a new row has successfully inserted into the database. So we print out a message: a new contact has been inserted. That's it, very simple. Now let's run this program. Before that, we select all the rows from this context table first. Right click, view, edit data, all rows. And you can see the table is now empty, no rows. And let's run our program to insert a new row to the context table. It's easy. It prints connected to PostgreSQL server and a new contact has been inserted. That means our program has successfully connected to the PostgreSQL server and inserted a new row into the context table. Now let's check here by running the select SQL statement again. Click this button, execute here. And you see a new row appears here with ID 1, first name Ravi, last name Kumar, and email is ravi.kumar2020@gmail.com. Here, perfect, right. Next, let's modify the code a little bit to insert the second row to the context table in a different way. This time I don't specify the values for the columns directory here. Instead, I use some question marks as a placeholder here. For 3 columns, there are 3 question marks here. Okay. And then I will set the values for these columns using code using a prepared statement. So we need to create a prepared statement here. Prepared statement and correction dot prepare statement with the given SQL statement here. And then we set the values for the columns dynamically. Statement set string. Yeah, with the parameter index is 1 based here. First name column is index 1 and value is, for example, shown for the first column, first name, and we do the same for the second column. Last name is Joe and email is the value of the email column at index 3 is zone.do@gmail.com. So you can use this way to dynamically insert the values for the columns in the table. That's it, and run this program. We got an error here. Can't use query methods that take a query string on prepared statement. Sorry, we need also just call the execute update method without the SQL statement because we already passed the SQL statement in the prepare statement here. Run the program again. You can see a new contact has been inserted. Now let's verify in the database. Click this button to refresh, and you can see we got the second row inserted here. jondo@gmail.com. Yeah, perfect, right? Now I'm going to show you how to create a second project in which we will use a JDBC driver for PostgreSQL server via Maven. So we create a new Maven project here. Maven project. Next, create a simple project. Next, and enter the group ID is net.codejava. Artifact ID is contact program 2. Finished. And we got a Java project created here. Change the Java version from 1.5 to 1.8 here. Okay. And copy the whole package from the first project here to here. Okay. And now let's open the Maven project file pom.xml here to add a dependency for the JDBC driver for PostgreSQL. You can search for the information about JDBC driver for PostgreSQL server on Maven Central repository. So head to Maven Central Maven Central repository, search here and type PostgreSQL here. Yeah, and select this dependency, and you can see the latest version is 42.2.16 JRE 7 here, and you can copy this dependency information XML snippet here, copy and paste into the project pom.xml file here. Dependencies. Okay, save. And you see Maven we automatically downloads the jar file PostgreSQL here. Now let's modify the contact program here to select all rows from the contact table. So here we change the SQL statement to select asterisk, meaning all of columns from the table contacts. And then we call the method execute query on the connection object. Connection. Create statement first. Statement. And then we call statement dot execute query here with the SQL statement, and this method returns a result set which contains the rows from the table. So we assign the return value to a variable type result set here, result, and then we can use a while loop to iterate through each row in this result set. While result. Next, the next method return true if there's more row in the result set, and then we read the value for each column in the table context. First name, last name, email, ID here. For ID, we use the method from the result set get integer, and then we can choose to use column index or column label or column name. We choose to specify the column name because it is more readable, more readability. And then we also read the first name into a variable first name result.php because the data type of the first name column is text, so we can use a getString method here, and column label is first underscore name, and we do the same for last name and email. Last name, email, column name is last underscore name and email. That's it. And then we print out the details of a row here inside the while loop. Sit out. I'm using a system.out.print format here. %d is for the ID. %s here is for the first name, for the last name, and for the email, and backward slash and for a new line character. And then I specify the arguments: ID, first name, last name, and email. That's it. Now let's run this program. Close the first project. Close here. Oh, sorry, I have modified the wrong file in the first project. No problem. Let's open that project. Contact program. And here I rename the contact program in the second project. Okay, and I move this here. Okay, and move contact program 1 to the first project. Okay, so in the second project, I got the right file here that executes the SQL select statement. Okay, then you can close this program, this project, and run the contact program class here. Right click, run as Java application. And you can see in the console view, it prints 2 rows with ID 1, ID 2, Ravi Kumar and Jondo, exactly what we have in the table context here, as you can see in the PG admin application here. You see, perfect, right? So that you have learned how to write a Java program that connects to PostgreSQL server to execute insert and select SQL statements. I hope you will find this video helpful. Please help me to grow this channel by clicking the subscribe button, and then like, comment, and share this video. Thank you.